from Bali. You're joining me, Kelly McHugh, the founder of Digital Yoga Academy, and we're here together on Instagram and also here in the Facebook group. And today I'm going to be talking about launching your online course when you have a small community. So launching an online course to a small community. So who here has been thinking about creating and launching an online course? Okay, so maybe you've been hearing me talk about it quite a lot. So you've been thinking about creating a course, but something is holding you back. And the thing that's holding you back is that your community is small. Yeah, your community is small. So I'm hoping that this topic is really going to give you a huge sigh of relief, okay? And that's because I'm talking about how you can still have a profitable course launch with just a small community. And when I say community, what I'm actually referring to here is the size of your email list. In today's session, I'm going to show you that it's not the size of your list. Yeah, it's not the size of your list that matters. It's not the size that matters. It's how you nurture and communicate with that list. Okay, we've got 200 here, Bliss Yoga, brilliant. So when it comes to online education, and launching online courses, there's actually a conversion rate that you can use as a guide, which basically says that about 2% of your email list will convert into paying students, okay? 2%, it doesn't sound like a lot, okay? But hear me out. This is a guide, okay? It's also important to remember that the bigger your list, the harder it is to personalize. So this is something that we're going to be talking about today. So Caroline says 450, brilliant. So when you personalize, i.e. you treat your subscribers as people, yeah, not just email addresses on a list, and you make those people feel special. When you have a small list, you can still totally have a profitable launch that smashes that 2% out of the door. And so today I'm going to talk about these personalization strategies, okay, that you can use to actually nurture a small list. That's what today's session is going to be about. So I'm also going to share another strategy that you can use for your first launch to really bring your first paying students on board. So that's important as well. So we're gonna cover that as well today. So grab a pen and paper, get rid of any other distractions, because if you are thinking about creating and launching a course and the only thing right now that keeps coming up is my community is too small, no one's going to buy it, this is the session for you today, okay? So no distractions, turn your phone off, just bring yourself here in this space, okay? And make it interactive. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat so I can support you as we go through today's content, okay? What you always have to remember is that whatever your results, okay, whether it's 0, like it was for me when I first launched my first ever online course, what you have to remember is that you will continue to create and launch an online course. Yeah, you will continue to optimize, you will continue to put it out there, you will continue to make it better every single time. And so the main point here is that we have to take action, right? I say this all the time, but we have to take action. We have to move forward so that we can learn and so that we can understand the process of launching. That's important. You know, I think quite often we put all of our focus on, you know, how much money we're going to make from our launch. And that's not what it's all about. You know, there's so many other things that are going to come out of the launch process that you go through. So many other things than just the money that you're going to make, okay? So actually when you're putting yourself out there, when you're actually marketing yourself, you're going to have you'll be creating, let's say, you'll be creating relationships with your network. You'll be creating relationships to collaborate, maybe speak on podcasts. You'll be building relationships with your community, with people who can support you. And it might not necessarily result in sales straight away, but it will in the future. Okay, so there's certainly, people or students in my community who have been in my community for some time, and they've seen me launching my programs, and they might not necessarily come in on the first launch, but maybe 3 launches later they decide to enroll and join my program. Okay, so you need to remember that. The more you're showing up, the more you're connecting with people. Like, this is a long-term strategy, right? You're building your business here for the long term. And so rather than just always be focusing on, oh, how much money have I made, it's actually about how much have I shown up. Yeah, how much have I shown up? How much have I connected with people? How much have I, focused on building relationships? Because the more you build relationships, the more trust you're building in your community, and that's important. People are never going to buy from you if there's no trust there, right? So launching isn't just about the people who pay for your course. Yeah, there's so many other benefits, and you have no idea, like when you've just closed your enrollment, all of the awesome things that are going to come out of launching, right? So you just need to do it. You just need to get yourself out there. You just need to not hold yourself back by thinking, I've only got 150 people on my email list and no one's engaging with my social media posts. You just need to put yourself out there. One thing I'll say here is, like, launching in itself, like launching a course takes courage. Yeah, it takes courage. And the thing is, those people who are successful, who successfully launch, they launch, and no matter what happens, they launch again, right? And they launch again and again. They keep going. And the way that you're going to learn and become successful at this is just by doing it. It really is as simple as that. Okay, so let's go back to the list then, the email list, the number of people on your list. Yeah, the number of people on your list is mostly a vanity metric. Okay, you guys probably know what that means, but people love to talk about how big their email list is, me included, right? Me included. I've got 20,000 yoga teachers on my email list. I've been working hard, guys, at building this list for the last 4 years, working extremely hard to build the list, right? And people love to talk about their email list. But what is way more important is your relationship to the individuals on your email list. Okay, so I don't want to call them subscribers. Let's call them people, right? And your relationship to them is what is ultimately going to make your launch successful. So we need to stop thinking about, these people as leads or subscribers, and just remember that these are all people behind those names and email addresses. So that's the first thing to really remember. And I just want us to stop thinking about a small email list as a disadvantage, because it really isn't. You can really use it so that it's your greatest strength, really. And for those of you who have been focusing on your followers on Instagram, and you've been forgetting about your email list, I really encourage you to shift your focus, right? Shift your focus, because the number on Instagram, the number of followers on Instagram, that is a vanity metric, right? It really, really is. And Instagram, we're I don't want to say fighting, we're working with the algorithm, right? We're working with the algorithm. The goalposts can change day by day. Your profile, I'm sure it won't happen, but your account could get shut down for whatever reason. And so your email list you own. Yeah, your email list you own. And it's your job to take care of it and to nurture the people, to nurture the relationships with those people who are on your list. And as I said before, when you have a small email list, you can really add some personal touches. Like, you can actually personalize more. And one thing that, I've done with previous launches, like when it's been to a small group of teachers who have registered for, say, a challenge, is I'll reach out to them. I'll reach out to them with personal videos. And I've done this in the early days. I used to use Bonjoro. Okay, it's an app called Bonjoro, and it has a free version to it. But every time someone registered for my challenge, it would notify me in the app, and I'd be able to record them a super quick video and just thank them for, for signing up for the challenge. And that the app would then send that video directly to their inbox, which is amazing. It's an amazing tool. And now that I have thousands of teachers coming into, summits that I organize, so obviously we're right now we're promoting the Profitable Pivot Online Summit, which is happening in a few weeks. And there's hundreds coming in every day, hundreds of signups coming in every day. I can't possibly send all of those videos. I'd just be sat here just doing that only. So, when your list is small, you can do things like that. You can really personalize. And, I remember when I was using Bonjoro, teachers would respond back and they'd be like, wow, that's amazing. They loved it so much. So, you get replies, right? You get replies, and, replies to your emails, that's where the conversation really starts. So, ideally, like this is great during a launch, but this is why you must consistently email your list. Yeah, the more you email your list, so I know some of you have resistance to this, but the more you email your list, the more you're showing up, the more your face, your name even, is showing up in someone's inbox. And the more you can actually build that connection with someone. And, when you do that, when you consistently work on building that connection, your subscribers, the people on your list, are more likely to hit reply. Yeah. They're more likely to reply. They're more likely to respond to questions that you've asked in the email. They'll tell you what they want. They'll tell you what they like, what they don't like, So if you're, ever kind of wondering, why do I have to email my list every week? Why does Kelly say I have to email my list every week? Or if you're, or if you're thinking, I don't know what to say to my email list, just email your list and tell them something that's going to be useful, maybe some lesson that you've learned, share some content that you've created. You should be creating content every week anyway, so you should actually have something to email to them, and just be real with them. This is people connect with people, right? We connect with people. And so we're not connecting with just like a face behind a business. We want to connect and understand who this person is that's landing in our inbox. So, when we do that, we get responses. People respond to that, and that's really going to start that conversation. What I mean when I say think about the subscribers like they're people, they're not subscribers. They're people who have the same hopes and dreams that you do. Okay, so don't be afraid, right? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to send that email and to start that conversation. Like, the personalization is so much easier when you have a smaller list, when you have a small community. And there's something, I guess, kind of grassroots when your audience is smaller, because you can actually get to the people that are on your list. And so this is how you really use your small list to an advantage. And, when you have a big list, you can't do that. Yeah, you really can't. It's more difficult to do that. It's more difficult to add that personalization. So really think about that. Really think about how you can ask questions. Really think about how you can reach out personally to people on your list and see what they're doing. See who's opening your emails. Like, what are they clicking on? Like, you could literally, like, if you had, let's say you had, I don't know, 20 people on your list. Let's say you're just starting out, and you've sent an email with some links to some new blog content. Maybe you've created a new freebie and you now want to share that freebie with your list as well. Okay, so your freebies aren't just for, you know, attracting new people to join your list, but also you want to be sharing that content with the subscribers on your list as well. So maybe you've sent some resources to them. Maybe you've sent, you know, you've shared a link to a YouTube video, whatever it might be. Perhaps you shared the link, you've told them about your new membership that you've just opened the doors to, whatever it is. But if you only have, say, 20, 30 people, you can look at the data inside MailerLite or ConvertKit or MailChimp, whatever you're using, and you'll see who has opened that email. You'll see who's clicked on it. But specifically, you'll see what they clicked on. Like, you'll see what they clicked on and where they went from your email. And so there's no reason that why you can't actually follow up with people and say, hey, you know, I noticed that you went over to the website to read that blog, or you downloaded the new freebie that I've created. How are you getting on with it? Like, what did you learn from that? Start a conversation. Do not be afraid to start conversations with your with the people on your list, because remember, they joined your list for a reason, right? So if you don't connect with them and build that relationship, you're really doing them a disservice. You're doing yourself a disservice. They want to hear from you guys, right? So don't feel, or don't be held back by the resistance of, or fear, or, you know, afraid to reach out to people. They want to hear from you. Okay, they signed up for your list for a reason. Okay, so really get grassroots is what I'm trying to say here. Get grassroots, look at the data, see who you can reach out to. You know, these are your warm people. I'm going to use the word leads again, but these are people who are warm in your community, right? So they should be your focus point. They should be your focus point. Okay, so another strategy that I want to share today, and it's something that I used when I first launched a monthly membership a few years ago, and it's called the founding member strategy. If any of you guys heard of this strategy before, let me know. So the founding member strategy actually creates an opportunity for you to not wait, okay? Because waiting until you have an audience of thousands is nothing more than procrastination. You're procrastinating on the opportunity that's actually right in front of you. And a founding member strategy, or a founding member launch, allows you to actually get going, and it allows you to create some momentum, especially when you just have a small audience. And the reason that this is, I guess, one of the ways that you can just kind of build that momentum is that actually you don't even need a sales page to do this. Okay, so let's say you're launching your course. You don't need a sales page. I mean, I recommend you do create one, but you don't necessarily need one for this particular strategy. Now, you don't need any kind of like fancy launch strategies to be able to do this. It's really not about that. This is about speed and getting to the people who are already on your list. And the real benefit of this is that it allows you to actually validate whether there's an actual interest in what you're considering to create. Okay, so it actually allows you to generate money before you even create something. So what you're doing here is you are reaching out to the people on your email list, and you're saying to them, you're telling them, hey, I've got this incredible idea for an online course. This is what I'm thinking of creating. If this is something that you are interested in, I'm giving you the opportunity to come inside my online course as the very first founding members, like AKA the early adopters, right? The first people in. And by doing so, I'm going to offer you 50% of the price, like 50% discount, or whatever it is that you want to provide to them. But you're offering your course at a lower price as an incentive to draw them in, and also which allows you to validate the course. Do people actually want it? To actually go through the course content with your first ever students, right? To actually like see how it all pans out, and to get testimonials, right? Because if you get those people to the end of the course, they're going to give you a testimonial. They're going to give you a they're going to tell you, they're going to give you a case study that you can share the next time you launch. So you've actually then had people come into the course. And the great thing about this is you can actually send this email and do that outreach before you've even created anything. I mean, isn't that wonderful? Like, it allows you to create a ton of momentum, and most importantly, as I said, it allows you to generate stories. It allows you to generate stories, testimonials, case studies, and they are your most valuable marketing assets, right? As you begin to grow your business, the stories of people using what it is that you're actually offering and getting results are essential. Like, you need those stories. So there's lots of benefits to that, right? There's lots of benefits to that. If you're thinking, well, I've only got 50 people on my email list, can't possibly do any of this, I really want you to consider this founding member strategy, because it's just a really great way to just get things off the ground and get moving. And it gives them such a benefit. They can come into the course with you at the lowest price possible. And, you can say to them, this is the only opportunity that this course will be available at this price. The next time I launch it, it's going to be double. So the other benefit to them is that they really feel part of what you're creating. Like, they can actually shape the direction that you're going to take your online course. Okay, so they're going to get first access to it. But they also have this like first mover advantage, like they feel really connected to you because they've helped in the development, right? So it's a win-win. It's a big win-win for you and your audience, for you and your community. So, all you have to do is put that invitation out there for people to join you before you've even created anything. And that's why I say you don't even need that sales page. Like, this can all be done by email, or it could be done by, you could do a Facebook Live, an Instagram Live about it to kind of reach out to people, wherever you're communicating, like, with your audience, really. So you're sharing that idea. Yeah, you're sharing an idea that you have for something that you've been thinking about doing for a long time. And then you're really just kind of like casting the vision for what this idea could become and inviting them to join you into it. Okay, so you're giving them that call to action to join you. So it's really simple. It's really simple. You're going to share the benefits, why they would do this. Yeah, I don't know why more people aren't using this particular strategy, and I really encourage you guys to do so. Yeah, I think, what might hold you back? What else might hold you back, guys? Tell me. For those of you who have what you're considering a small community, what's holding you back? What's getting you stuck in your tracks? I can bet that maybe one thing that might be getting you stuck in your tracks even, is perfectionism. Yeah? What are people going to think? What am I, that I'm trying to sell something and I haven't even finished it yet. Or I haven't got all my I's dotted or my T's crossed. So that could be something that comes up, right? Or it's got to look pretty, or it's got to look like this. Perfectionism is going to stop you in your tracks. So we need to get over that, because this strategy is about taking action so that we can move forward towards our big goal. And what is our big goal? To create an online course so that we have more freedom, flexibility, more income in our business. It's a long-term strategy, right? You're not going to create and launch your online course overnight and it's going to be an overnight success and you're going to make your millions. That's not what I'm talking about here. This is something where you're building a digital asset in your business for the long term. Yeah, that you get out there, you get it out there. That's the first step. We get it out there and we refine it and we launch and we launch and we launch and launch and launch and launch again and again and again, right? So that's what we're building here. The alternative, what's the alternative? The alternative is we're in the studio model. So we're teaching studio classes. Yeah. We know that doesn't necessarily work for most teachers. For those teachers who want to make teaching yoga their full-time job, full-time business, career, build a business from this, we know that doesn't work. But there might be some of you here who are not teaching in who are not teaching in a yoga studio, but you are building up your Zoom classes. So you're building up your Zoom schedule. And again, you know, it can be challenging, right? It can be challenging. We must be thinking about how we can move beyond the Zoom schedule to create other offerings for our community. And I'm not saying cancel or, you know, cancel that schedule or remove it. I'm not saying that at all. As a low entry, low cost entry into your community, your Zoom schedule is perfect, right? It's absolutely perfect. But what else are we going to create so that we can start to become more profitable, so that we're not replicating what we were doing in studios on Zoom? Okay, because teaching in studios 20 classes a week doesn't work. Teaching on Zoom 20 classes a week doesn't work either, right? So we do need to be thinking beyond that. And actually, if we look at the state of the world today, our students need more than that. They really do. You know, like now is the time to create your online course or to have something, some offering where you invite your students to come in and work on a deeper level with you. That's important in 2021 and beyond. That is what our students are needing from us right now. Perfectionism can hold us back, especially with this founding member strategy. But another fear that might come up is that you fear that you'll put your course out there and nobody's going to buy it, because you've already got the fear of, oh, you know, you've already got the fear of my community small. Yeah. So if I go to all this effort of doing this and then still no one buys it, the fear of nobody buying, you don't have to worry about. Okay. You really don't need to worry about that, because as I said at the start, this isn't about, we're not focusing on how much money we're making when we first get started with this. We're focusing on relationships. Yeah. So the people in your community, that small community, might not buy from you first time round, but they're likely to buy maybe second, third, or fourth time. Yeah. So not everybody's going to be ready, guys, right? Not everybody's going to be ready straight away. So if you do this, even if you go to the trouble of doing, you know, maybe you do the founding member strategy, because you're actually taking payment up front before you actually launch the course, because you're giving people that discount, aren't you? But if you don't do the founding member strategy and you've still got a small community, you just need to get it out there, right? You just need to get the course out there and just use it as an opportunity to just really test what you're doing, right? Test it. That's what you're here to do here. You're testing. So you know, we have to move beyond these fears. We have to move beyond the fears of, you know, maybe I feel stupid because I've never done this before. It's something new that I'm doing. Make your message bigger than those fears, right? You are here to serve your community. Nothing more than that. Nothing more, nothing less. You're here to serve your community. You really don't need to worry about how you're showing up or anything like that. You should just be concerned with how you're serving your people. Yeah. So I want to encourage you to just shift your focus to the people that you're serving and the relationships that you're building. And I promise you that the profit will come. The profit will come when you take the first step. Yeah, when you take the first step, we have to be prepared to take the first step and not be focused on making loads of money, right? You have to remember that you have a solution, don't you? You have a solution for a problem that your students are experiencing right now. So don't hold yourself back in sharing your gifts and in sharing how you can actually support people. You don't need a huge audience to do this, guys. You don't need to have a huge email list, a huge community to get started. And I hope that what I've shared with you today really shows that, right? Really proves that you can get started. You can move forward. You know, even if you've just got 50 people on your email list, you can still reach out and do that founding member strategy. You can still personalize how you communicate with those people. And it's actually easier because there's less people to communicate than whether, you know, compared to whether you had thousands and thousands of people on your list. So just really focused on growing your audience and nurturing those relationships. Focus on nurturing and building trust. So, so, so important. Okay. So it's totally possible for all of you here, it's totally possible for you to move beyond the Zoom room, to move beyond any drop-in classes. If that's what your business looks like right now, it's time to really start thinking beyond that. How can I serve my students in a deeper way? How can I also serve myself and honor my own time and energy and effort that I'm putting into this business, and have that exchange, that energy exchange? That's important for you as a business owner, to keep showing up, right? To keep wanting to do this, to continue loving what you do. And so we need to be prepared to start thinking like a business owner and start thinking about, how can I make this more sustainable for me and more profitable for me, but also more interesting and enjoyable for my students as well, and really offer that deep transformation that they actually need right now. Okay, so if you have any questions whatsoever, please do reach out to me. But I hope that's helped you guys today. If you're considering launching an online course, just know that you can do it. Like, you can always move forward. Like, moving forward is a choice, right? Taking action is a choice. So you have that choice. That choice is with you. So if you haven't actually joined the Profitable Pivot Online Summit, make sure you make the decision and the choice to do so, because this online summit is really focused on creating and launching online courses specifically. There are 9 incredible yoga business experts, international yoga teachers, who I have had the pleasure to interview, and I'll be sharing those interviews with you over the 3 days of the summit. There'll also be an opportunity to join me live every single day inside a private Facebook group. I'll be hosting a live masterclass each day. It's all about creating and launching online courses. I'll be giving you homework, accountability challenges, so that you can actually really implement and take action on what you're learning throughout the summit. So that's exciting, really excited. I think yesterday when I looked, there's like over 600 of you have already signed up. So head to the link in my bio if you're watching on Instagram, and those of you in the Facebook group, the link is in the Facebook group at the top of the page in the announcements. Okay, sending you guys so much love. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care, lots of love. Bye bye.